Hey cooking friends, welcome back to Cooking with Shotgun Red.
This is Sheila.
And this is Jennifer.
And today we have 3 really simple, budget-friendly recipes that we think you're going to love to make. So I don't know about you, but the grocery bills are getting higher and higher these days.
Sky high where I'm going to.
I'm telling you. And, you know, I'm always looking for something that is, you know, economical that I can make. And, you know, I like to make dinners for a couple nights. How about you?
Yeah, and you can put it in the freezer if you want to.
Yeah, freeze some for later, break it out when you don't feel like cooking. And so we're going to take you to each one of these recipes and show you how we do it. We're making a one-pot cheesy taco pasta. So we've got everything laid out here, but we're going to go back to the stove and we're going to show you how it's done. Okay, so we've got our large deep skillet. Now you could put this in a pot or a skillet. We're going to use our deep skillet here, and this is my favorite stone skillet.
I love that thing.
Love it. And we're starting off with a pound of meat, and Sheila's going to just get that chopped up and get going here. We have 1 chopped up onion. I'm going to let that cook up with that. Sheila did some chopping this morning.
Yes.
A little bit. Now that we've got the meat pretty much browned up, I'm going to add a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now this recipe calls for a packet of taco seasoning. So I'm just going to put half of the packet on the meat because I like to flavor the meat a little bit, don't you?
I do. Yeah,
you know, just get a little meat flavor on there, and then the rest I'll reserve for the sauce. So we got rotel. This is just a 1 can of rotel, tomatoes and green chilies. I'm going to add that in because we love rotel.
Yes, I do. We got corn in the can.
Sweet corn.
Yes.
And it's already drained. I'm going to dump that in because you can't have a taco pasta without corn. I'm going to add our tomato sauce. And this is just regular tomato sauce. You can in a can. And this is a 15-ounce can. So easy. I love these 1 pan, 1 pot meals. You know? Yep. All right. So now that we've got all this mixed in, we're going to add a little bit of cheddar cheese, maybe about 3/4 of a cup, because I like it in the mix as well as on. And I'm doing this now so it has a chance to melt in a little bit before I add the liquid. Once we got all that in there, mixed in, we're going to add 2 cups of water. And we're going to add our pasta shells. And we just got the Cremette medium-sized pasta shells. And you're going to add about 2 cups.
That sounds like it's boiling.
It does. I'm going to leave a little bit out because that looks like a little bit more than 2 cups to me. So it says 16 ounces, but I think that's probably good right there. Okay, so I'm going to get this in here and we're going to cover this a little bit. We might need to add a little bit more water. We'll just see as the pasta starts to cook up here. So we're just going to cover it with our lid here and let it simmer on medium-low. And we'll check back here in a little bit. We might have to add a little bit more water. All right, so looks like we're about done here. It's been cooking for about 12 minutes. And we did have to add a little bit more water because these noodles needed a little bit more to get cooked up, and we didn't want them to be non-cooked, so we want to make sure they got cooked. So it depends on your pasta that you're using. This particular brand called for a little bit more water, so we used about 3 cups in ours. So you just want to gauge 2.5 to 3 cups. And so I've turned off the heat. It's still electric stove, so it's still cooking a little bit. And Sheila's going to sprinkle some of that yummy Mexican blend cheese all over.
Yes.
There you go. And I got a little bit left of this cheddar. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that on there too. Why not?
Yeah,
You know how we like cheese.
Yeah, throw it all in.
Just want to finish up the last of this cheddar I have here. We're going to cover this up. Oh, I forgot. Green onions.
Yeah, throw that on.
Yeah, throw those green onions. We got some chopped fresh green onions. We're going to put that on top.
You got anything else over there you might want to put
Well,
on?
you know, if I had some olives, I'd probably put those on too. You could do all kinds of stuff, you know. It's taco pasta. It's whatever you want it to be. And then we're just going to cover that up, let that cheese melt, and let it cool, and a little bit, and let it sit for a little bit, and then we are going to serve it up. All right, so we have let it set, and we're going to take off the lid. Oh, doesn't that look good?
That is yummy.
Yum. Taco pasta. One pan, one pot. Yum. We're making home fried potatoes and sausage. So we have got our potatoes, and what we've done is we have gone ahead and peeled up these potatoes. Sheila's doing it with a knife because it's a lot easier to do it with a knife. We are going to cut them in half. The thicker the potato, the harder it is for them to get cooked easily in the pan. So we want to make them kind of thin, and we're going to put them in a bowl and set them aside. And then we're going to cut our smoked sausage. So you just want to slice these in about the same width that you did the potatoes, and kind of long and angled and like bite-sized pieces. So it makes it easy to fry up in that pan. And all that sauce is going to add a lot of flavor. Okay, so we've got our skillet here on medium heat, and we're going to add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of olive oil. And you don't need a lot at the beginning. You might want to save some of that because you're going to need it for the potatoes. So I'm just going to put a little bit in right now. And the first thing we're going to want to do is add in our chopped up smoked sausage. Now, if you have bacon grease or something like that that has flavor in it, you can do it that way and use the bacon grease for flavor. But we're going to flavor up this oil with the sausage because it has a lot of salt in it already, and it's going to give it a nice flavor. I'm going to brown up this one side, and we're going to flip this over, and then I'm going to add in our onion as well. While we're waiting for the sausage to brown up, I'm just going to pour a little bit of olive oil in these potatoes and just kind of coat them lightly, because there's going to be oil in the pan, but we want to make sure both sides get covered in oil, and it'll keep them from turning brown. All right, now that we've flipped that over, I'm going to add some of our onion in here, and this is about a medium chopped up onion, about a cup. And I'm putting the onions in with the meat because that's going to flavor as well. Once those onions are translucent like that, we're going to go ahead and put this on a plate and set it aside so we can get our potatoes cooking. All right, I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil. All right, so I'm going to add my green beans in here and get these flavored up a little bit. You can use the French style or the cut style or fresh, whatever you have on hand. I'm also going to add just a little bit of garlic. If you got minced garlic, you can use that. Or fresh garlic, dried garlic. You'll let that all get in there. It won't take very long. Green beans are already cooked. But if they're fresh, you'll have to cook them a little longer. Okay, so those are already pretty much cooked, so I'm going to go ahead and move those out and set them on that same plate with my smoked sausage and onions. And we're going to do our potatoes. Add a little bit more oil, you know, but our potatoes are already coated. So we're going to put our potatoes in here. And this is about 5 large potatoes. So we're going to turn up the heat just a little bit so I can get these browning to medium high. Make sure that you pick the amount of potatoes that will fit in your pan too, because if you put them too high, they're not going to get brown and crispy for you and caramelize like you want them to. Okay, so you can see if they flip these over, they're turning a nice golden brown. And that's what we want. So let them cook and get nice and brown on one side. So as you can see, these are all nice and brown, and they're fork tender. So you can just test them by putting a little fork in there, and if they break apart real easy, you know they're done. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a little pinch of our salt and pepper that we've set aside here and just kind of season our potatoes. And then we're going to take our green beans and our onions that we sauteed and our smoked sausage and dump them all back in there. Mix them all together. Garlic, you can just smell it. Doesn't that smell good, Sheila?
Smells awesome.
I start to sound like Steve. What do you think, Sheila?
It looks good and it smells really, really good. And it does look like a southern recipe.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. I'm ready for it. Hurry up.
Hurry up, she says. So you can cook it for maybe just another couple minutes. Make sure the sausage and everything gets hot again. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of some red pepper because I like a little bite. Just a little bit. And that'll flavor it up nice. A little bit of dried green chives. All right, we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to eat. Doesn't that smell good?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yummy.
Here, let's go that way so you can smell it too.
I just want to get a shovel and just shovel it on my plate. Let's try some,
Here you
She.
go. Bring it on.
All right. And so today we're going to make delicious, cheesy chicken and rice. And it's very simple, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get your chicken chopped up. Now you can leave it whole if you'd like to, but it's just easier to get chicken in each bite if you chop it up into small pieces. So we just got some regular chicken breast strips. I mean, if you want to use dark meat, you could. Or if you have like a leftover rotisserie chicken, you could do that. So we're just going to chop these up into little pieces so we can get them browned up. We've got our skillet on medium heat and we've got it nice and hot. And we're going to put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we're also going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter.
Steve loved butter, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He used butter and everything.
He said he put butter on butter.
Butter on butter, I know. I get comments all the time from the people who are like watching what they eat. And they're like, you can't use all that butter. But, you know, if you want to use something else, that's okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in our onion. And I've got about 1 cup, about a medium chopped onion here. And we're going to want to saute that up. Just till they get translucent.
Then we're going to add in the chicken that we've already chopped up.
And we want to brown that up a little bit and get it mostly cooked. So then we're going to add in our salt and pepper.
Teaspoon of salt and teaspoon of pepper.
Once this is browned up a little bit more and where it's almost cooked, we're going to add in some garlic. We don't want to do it too soon because you don't want your garlic to burn. And it's not going to take very long for this chicken to cook. Another thing, you can also use canned chicken if you don't have any chicken in the freezer. You can always just break open a couple cans of the chicken. You know, they have the chicken breast in a can, and that would work too.
Once the chicken is about done, we add a teaspoon of garlic, minced garlic.
Yeah, and if you've got fresh garlic, you can use that, but we're just going to use our mince because that's what we have in the fridge right now. Once that chicken is just about done, we're going to give ourselves some room here, and we're going to pour in our rice. Now, we're using just Ben's original long grain rice. You could use minute rice if you want, but we're just going to pour this in dry because we want to absorb some of that flavor. So we're just going to toast these up, and that's going to give it a nice flavor, before we add our chicken broth in to make the rice. It's going to absorb all the onion and garlic and seasoning and chicken, everything. And you can see that's just turning nice brown color. And then we're going to add 2 1/4 cups of just chicken stock, chicken broth, low sodium, and pour that in the pan. And we're going to cover that and let it simmer for about 18 to 20 minutes. You just want to keep an eye on it because you don't want that rice to be overcooked. So just kind of keep an eye on it. And I've got it on medium-low heat. And let that simmer. And we'll be back. Okay, so our rice looks like it's cooked pretty much. We've had it in there for about 18 minutes. Looks like we're ready to add our cream of mushroom soup. And we're just using the Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup. And we're going to put that in there and mix that into the rice.
We have thawed out our mixed vegetables and we're going to add that in right now.
We're going to mix that together and we're going to add in 1 cup of sharp grated cheddar cheese and mix it in. That gives it the cheesy part, Sheila.
Yes, we like cheese.
Yes. So we're gonna mix this all together, and I'm gonna cover it for about another 5 minutes. And you can see that's already mixed in there and it's starting to bubble, and the cheese is all melted in there. It looks so good. Doesn't that look good, Sheila?
It does.
We're just gonna sprinkle our last cup of sharp cheddar cheese all along the top.
Now you're talking.
That's right. And then we're going to put some fresh parsley. If you don't have any fresh parsley, you can just use your dried parsley. But we had some in the fridge, so we're going to go ahead and use that up. I'm going to cover this up for about 1 minute and turn off the heat and let that cheese melt.
We're back and we just got this off the stove.
It looks amazing.
It does.
Oh my gosh.
All
that
colors. And
melted cheese. And are you ready to try some?
very appetizing, yeah.
Everything. It's just delicious.
As Steve would say, is this the best?
Cheesy chicken and rice. If it ain't, it ought to be. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Bye.
Well, that's Shishi and Jen Jen, them 2 girls having too much fun. We hope you enjoy this recipe, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. That's easy. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When you click on it, it'll say subscribe, then you're subscribed. Next to it will be a little notification bell. If you click that little bell, then YouTube will send you every single one of our recipes or a notification that we posted one as soon as it comes out. See you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Is this the best? If it ain't, it ought to be.